Guys, like Master 178 here, and today I'm going to be doing my thoughts on the new Ninjago 2014 sets, or at least three of them. It's this time of year again when we start getting leaked pictures of the new 2014 sets, and uh, we haven't actually gotten any preliminary images of these to my knowledge, possibly, but I've only seen the Star Wars preliminary images this year, so I don't know. Lego has cracked down quite a bit with the copyright, and with like the whole preliminary stamp that they put on all of their preliminary images. They haven't really been surfacing in as many places as far as I know, but these sets just leaked in HD recently, and I think honestly that they look pretty neat. So, first off, talking about the sort of theme that this box art is going with, it has a very, uh, to me, it sort of reminds me of Exoforce, just especially with like the whole golden city pretty much in the background. And from what I can tell from the descriptions, they're really going for a city type of thing that is very reminiscent to me of the Avatar Legend of Korra TV series. Anybody who follows that series will probably know what I'm talking about if they look into these sets a little bit more. But I think that the whole Zane half cyborg thing on the box art is pretty interesting, I have to say. And Zane is the one ninja that does not appear in any of these sets, so probably have to wait for the others to see what happens. Apparently, he turns half cyborg, or he turns cyborg, he turns half robot. So we'll have to wait and see. We don't know whether he's going to be. I honestly don't know. I don't know how I feel about him turning evil or something like that. I mean, they do have four ninjas. They would have four ninjas with Lloyd, so I don't know. Uh, it doesn't really matter a whole lot to me. But anyway, so basically, the first set, the Kai Fighter, is pretty interesting. It does remind me a lot of the J Storm Fighter from uh, when the first Rise of the Snakes, or whatever you want to call it, sets came out. I actually like this set the most out of the three. I think that it has a nice look to it. And although I can't really say a whole lot, it looks like there's probably a few new pieces and new colors in this set, so that's always nice. But I mean, the thing that's really exciting me is the minifigures. If we see here, we have the Overborg minion or something. That's kind of how he's being called. And Kai in the new ninja form. Of course, they pretty much always have a new form or uniform for the ninjas, whatever you want to call it. This time, Kai or all the ninjas have exposed hair with sort of a pulled down bandana or scarf. Uh, it's really just a scarf. And I think that honestly, I like the look. It definitely is different from anything we've gotten before. The weapon that they have in these sets, the sort of like mechanical sword blade, is pretty neat. But the thing that I'm most excited about is the evil warrior, or I'm just gonna call him an Overborg minion. So I think that honestly, he looks really, really nice. The rocket launcher is a bit ridiculous, but I mean, I like the look of him. I really like the color scheme and just the general shape and style. So it's pretty neat. Next up, we have the Overborg attack, which is why I'm calling the others Overborg minions. I don't know what to think of this. The Lloyd bike, I guess Lloyd's green ninja bike, is kind of interesting. I think that it's fairly simple. It doesn't have any stick. It really doesn't have that many stickers for some reason. Some people have pointed out how it doesn't really look that ornate compared to most other Ninjago vehicles, which is kind of true. Lloyd, I actually is probably my favorite out of these new ninja forms. I really like him. And then apart from that, you've got the little ramp thing, which isn't really that interesting. They have that sort of classic fire extinguisher design or fire hydrant, excuse me. But then you have the Overborg vehicle. I'm just gonna call it that. It's basically a tread with a thing on top, and on top of that, you have the Overborg in like this, which is basically looks like a cross between Doctor Octopus or Doc Ock from the Spider-Man sets, and uh, one of the Lego Agents villains. I believe it was Cyclops, who had the same sort of spider legs. I don't know what to think of that. It's a very interesting concept, especially since over Borg and with that particular headpiece really is very reminiscent of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I won't get too into that, but I'm surprised that Paramount isn't suing Lego at the moment. I'm guessing Lego have found a way around that, but that's still a bit ridiculous. So anyway, the weird spinny axe things are kind of interesting. I'm not entirely sure how they're gonna pull that off. For some reason, they remind me of General Grievous from the Star Wars line, how he has his own spinny lightsaber things. But anyway, it's just a very strange vehicle, although probably not the strangest we've gotten from Ninjago. Now, next up we have the Thunder Raider, the blue J vehicle, as you can see here, which is okay. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. I just don't really like the look of it. It is supposed to combine sort of with Cole's Earth mech over there, which I really am not a huge fan of. I just think it looks kind of spindly, and the weapons I really do not like. We'll have to get more in-depth views of this to really uh, get me to make a real opinion, but I think that the mech I'm not a huge fan of. The tank vehicle is okay in my opinion. It's probably my second favorite out of these three sets. And then you've got like the smaller Overborg minion and the little turret. So that's pretty interesting. We still have, I believe, four more sets or so in this line. I'm not entirely sure if Lego is going to be bringing back spinners for Ninjago, since this is sort of like their revamp line after they had originally canceled it back in the 2013 was supposed to be their last line. Then they decided to bring it back. So I don't know what to think of it. The sets look pretty neat. I honestly like the modern touch that they're going with the sets. It does remind me a lot of Avatar: Legend of Korra, if anybody's into that. But I don't know. I mean, I think that it has probably the most uh, sort of consistent theme in all of these sets. Whereas previously it's been sort of a mix of really modern stuff and sort of more fantasy things. So I don't know. They seem to be really going with like a modern twist with ninjas. I don't know. I really don't know what to think of it anymore. Again, it's not as strange a premise, in my opinion, as some of the earlier lines, but we'll have to wait and see. There are still a few more sets to come out. I don't know if I'm going to be actually doing the overviews on those sets, but we'll have to see. So for now, guys, this is it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for listening, and I will be doing more of my thoughts on uh, other Lego sets in the future, especially the Star Wars ones. Those ones look pretty interesting. So that's it for now. Bye, guys.